Following Johnny Depp's successful defamation case against his wife, Amber Heard, there's considerable curiosity regarding her whereabouts and the impact this outcome will have on her life. Is her departure from Hollywood directly related to this event? Stay tuned to discover the answers. This news is indeed intriguing and warrants clarification, as the current narrative circulating has generated significant discussion. By conducting a basic Google search of her name, one can observe the prevailing perception that she's exceedingly content. It is truly remarkable and highly favorable, as the prevailing beliefs suggest her departure from Hollywood is final. Personally, I've made this decision to resign and relocate, opting to settle in Spain. However, something smells fishy in this matter. Despite occasional encounters with cameras in that location, I presume it to be an unforeseen occurrence that she never intended. Thus, it appears that she is purportedly bidding farewell to Hollywood. The prevailing headline asserts that she's relocated to Spain, having quit Hollywood and finally found happiness. However, this portrayal is disputed. It's believed that she constantly craves attention and desires to be adorned, which is evident in her extensive public relations campaign aimed at reconstructing her image while vilifying anyone who criticizes her. In reality, she's far from content. She is profoundly unhappy. The notion that she's leaving Hollywood is comical because, in actuality, Hollywood has abandoned her. She currently has 2 upcoming movies, one of them being a film with a title I am unaware of and have no intention of watching. It's predicted to fail due to the lack of audience interest in her. Additionally, she's involved in Aquaman 2, but beyond that, securing further projects seems improbable. Her age, around 35 or perhaps 37 years old, is a significant factor contributing to this challenge. In one picture, she appears relatively unchanged and looks decent, but in another, her age becomes apparent. This is not meant as criticism towards women in their 30s, but in Hollywood, it's the 20-year-olds who predominantly dominate the box office. So what option does she have now? She's aging, and perhaps Marvel might consider hiring her, although I retract that statement. Marvel may not even be foolish enough to offer her a job. The truth is, she's quitting Hollywood, but it's not her decision alone. Hollywood has distanced itself from her entirely, which is why she's now out of the picture. It's interesting to note that she's been in the industry for a significant period. However, this headline seems almost like an attempt to remind people of her existence. This is what I gathered when I first read it, since there's no new developments mentioned. She's been in Spain for quite some time now, ever since the trial concluded. She's not been involved in any Hollywood projects since then. However, all of a sudden, the news emerges that she's quitting Hollywood. It makes me wonder about the source of the new PR campaign. I have no idea who's funding it, since it's not financially secure. She does possess some funds, but it's uncertain if she has enough to retire comfortably. Moreover, she certainly lacks the resources to finance a full-fledged PR campaign at the present. Consequently, her visibility has diminished to some extent, although it still persists, and now, unexpectedly, this headline emerges. Oh, so now she's quit Hollywood. Well, that's not surprising, considering she couldn't secure any work. It's been disclosed that Heard has officially left Hollywood and relocated to Spain in a low-key manner, accompanied by her young daughter. However, it seems that she's been residing in Spain for quite some time since the trial, as shared by the journalist. Oh right, the journalist, Simp, who would probably do anything to please her. What was her name again? She was always engaged in unpleasant Twitter antics. Eve Barlow, that's the journalist. Let's face it, they claim it's Alison Bischoff, but who do you think is the real source behind all this information? Eve Barlow. According to the journalist, a close friend of hers mentioned that Heard is bilingual in Spanish and is content there raising her daughter away from the constant buzz. This friend also revealed to the publication that although the 37-year-old actress is not in a rush to return to Hollywood or resume work, she might come back when the right opportunity presents itself. So essentially, if someone contacts her with the right project, she'll return. How does that align with quitting Hollywood? So, if someone approaches her and says, "I have a role for you in this direct-to-DVD, now direct-to-streaming movie, would you be interested in returning?" She would consider it if it's the right project. The time will come and she will come back. How does that classify as quitting then? Oh, she'll come back if the project is suitable. Essentially, this is her way of saying, hey, I'm out here, why am I facing discrimination? Because you will start seeing that soon. Next, there'll be articles portraying her as a victim, criticizing anyone who doubts her, and all that nonsense. Meanwhile, Johnny is still prevailing even after all this time. He's doing well and has an upcoming movie that looks quite promising. can't recall the name, King Louis the 40th, but he portrays a French king, so there you have it. The remaining part is essentially repetition of the trial details that we're already aware of and have discussed numerous times. However, what strikes me as amusing is the notion that she voluntarily quit Hollywood. No, the truth is that nobody wants to collaborate with her. Do you really believe she would willingly relinquish the spotlight? That's preposterous. It was her intention all along when she married Depp, to latch onto his fame and bask in the limelight. Ultimately, she attempted to steal a spotlight through deceitful means, which proved unsuccessful. Now she finds herself residing in Spain, which, to be fair, is a beautiful place to live. However, it's not where she truly desires to be. Her yearning lies within the spotlight, but unfortunately for her, it remains uninterested in her presence. The strategy she seems to be employing here, which I find somewhat astute, is to retreat from the public eye for a couple of years, allowing things to settle down. Desperately, she needs a break from the spotlight and hopes that people will eventually forget about the events that transpired. Her previous PR efforts were of no assistance. In fact, they only exacerbated the fact that people disliked her. The aggressive approach backfired tremendously. Recently, the trailer for Aquaman 2 has premiered at CinemaCon, and a lot of people have been upset that they've seen Amber Heard in the teaser, confirming her role as Mera. According to Deadline, Heard's Mera shows up briefly during a battle scene in the preview. DC film head Walter Hamada was called to testify in court about Heard's diminished screen time. He contradicted her legal team's claim that the role was altered as a result of allegations against Depp. The size of the role in the film that she has was determined in the early development of the script, was said at trial, citing a lack of chemistry between Heard and the film's lead, Jason Momoa, as the result behind her cut-down screen time. Reports of Heard's cameo in the trailer surfaced after Johnny Depp's supporters launched an online campaign to remove her from the sequel. At press time, the virtual petition had received more than 4.6 million signatures. The petition, which labels Heard a domestic perpetrator, got a major boost last spring when Heard and her ex-husband Depp traded allegations of domestic maltreatment and attacks at their high-profile defamation trial in Virginia. The jury ended up awarding Depp more than $10 million, while Heard received only $2 million. Consequently, fans believe that she's undoubtedly finished. She may attempt to come back in a few years and venture into independent films, but by then she'll be around 40 years old. Perhaps she'll take on motherly roles in movies. However, who would want to see her as a believable mother? After all, she had a caretaker who seemingly took care of her own child at the time. I'm uncertain if that's changed in Spain, but given her constant travel without her child, one can only wonder what she was up to. This is why many people entertained the notion of a rented baby conspiracy, although I personally don't believe in it. Many think she genuinely does have a child. A significant portion of these rumors stemmed from Joseph Morris, the individual notorious for spreading false information. Nonetheless, it did appear as though she was not fulfilling her role as a responsible mother, considering her frequent travels and the question of where is the baby. Now, perhaps she is genuinely striving to be a devoted mother and resolve the issues at hand. If that's indeed her intention, then it's commendable. However, we can't overlook the fact that she attempted to destroy someone's life, and forgiveness from people will be an uphill battle, if not impossible. Her actions tarnish the credibility of genuine victims and make it challenging for others to be believed. Women like her undermine the experience of real victims, which is why many women harbor dislike towards her. In fact, it's likely that there are more women who hold negative opinions of her than men. But that's going to be all for today, folks, so if you want to keep yourself updated on the latest binge-worthy news, click that subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. Stay tuned!